Good afternoon ladies and gentlemen, your boy Virtus here and welcome to my Unreal Engine 4 FPS series. In today's video we are going to be taking a look at setting up our project for the FPS game, and we're also going to be taking a look at how we can set up a true first person controller. So what that means is we're going to be showing you how to get that realistic look with the legs when we look down at the ground, the arms and all of that good stuff, because as of right now the first person template that does come with Unreal Engine 4 is just the arms and just a weapon, and it just doesn't look great. So we also need to download a couple of things for our project, that including the animation starter pack. That just comes with a whole bunch of different animations for reloading, shooting, walking, idling, jumping and all of that good stuff. So before we do go and create our project, let's download the animation starter pack. Now you can see I've got it here already. If you don't, just head over to the marketplace. Just go ahead and click that on the left hand side in your launcher, and then we need this. So if you want to get to it, just press home, and then from the content search in the top right, just type in animation starter pack and then just press enter, and then it's this one here that we want. We don't want the zombie one, we just want the normal one, animation starter pack free by Epic Games. Click it. And then once you've done that, on the right hand side it will either say download or add to project. If it doesn't say add to project, just download it and then you can press add to project afterwards. Now we haven't actually got a project yet, so we do need to go ahead and create one. So the way that you need to create this is just opening up the latest version of your engine. For me that is 4.16.2. Just go ahead and press launch, give it a couple of seconds to load up, and then when it does load up we can create our project and we can add the animation starter pack to it. So I'm going to skip the video for a couple of seconds while this loads up and we will jump straight back in. Okay, so the engine is just loaded up and we're ready to create our project. So just go over to new project, and then from here we are not going to be using the first person template, as like I said that only comes with the arms and the weapon, which isn't that great. Instead we're going to be using the third person template where we get the whole body, so the legs, the torso, the head, and we can add our weapon and everything on there later on. So ignore the first person. Even though it's a first person project, we will be changing the third person and creating it into a really cool true first person system. So select third person, and then from here leave it to desktop and console, maximum quality, and include the starter content. There's some really great stuff in there, and then just give it the name, anything you want. For now I'm just going to call this FPS tutorial, and then just press create project. Once again, this is probably going to take a little while to load up, so all we're going to do is wait for a couple of seconds, and once that's done we can dive into it and get started. Okay, so the project's just opened up now and we can show you exactly what I'm talking about with the first person stuff. So if we press play, you can see we've got our full body character, and then we can run around and you can see the legs, the torso, the whole body, and that's exactly how we want it. But we do need to change the camera. So let's go ahead and change that camera. It's really easy and simple to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to open up the blueprint that contains all of the character information, and for me that's just third person blueprints. So if you want to find that, all you got to do is just go to your little tree on here, third person BP, and then open up your third person character. By default it's going to open up the event graph, which is all the coding stuff. We're not going to worry about that too much for just now. Instead we're going to go to the viewport where we actually have the physical representation of all of this. So if we take a quick look at this, you can see our character is in front of the camera and the camera is at the back, but that's not what we want. Instead what we're going to be doing is moving this camera, pulling it all the way up in front of the head over here to turn it into a first person camera. Now the difference between this and the other one is in the first person demo you just have floating arms and a weapon. With this we've got a full body, so if we look down we're going to be able to see the arms, the legs and all of that good stuff. So we could just leave it at that, but there's going to be a few issues with that. So move this just using the transformation tools, hit compile, and then close that and press play, and I'm going to show you exactly what happens. We're running in here and you can see we've got a bit of clipping. You can see when the animation for the run starts happening, you can see the head goes in front of the camera. We don't want that, so what we need to do is actually socket this camera to the head so it moves in line with it and just makes it a little bit smoother. So let's go ahead and do this. So if we open up the third person character again, go to viewport, and then we need to grab our two components. So the first component that we need to play around with is our follow camera. We need to make this a parent of the mesh. So to do that, just simply click it and drag it onto mesh just like this, and you'll see here it says drop here to attach follow camera to mesh, and then you can see it's now attached to it. However, for it to move in line with the head, we need to socket it to pretty much merge the two together. So the way we're going to do this is in the details panel of the follow camera, you can see we've got parent socket over here. As of right now, it's just set to nothing, so it's just going to follow the whole body and none of the bones. So what we got to do is press the little search and then just type in head. Click that, and you can see our camera has now moved, but it's floating and moving around in line with the head animation, and that's going to stop the clipping that we have. So the next thing that we're going to do now then is we need to realign it with the character, and you can also see it's slightly rotated on its side, so we need to fix that. Easiest way to do it is just to grab your rotation tool and then just move this around just like that and put it upright again and just move it to 90 degrees. And also this yaw over here is really bugging me, so instead of it being 89.9999 recurring, I'm just going to leave this to 90 just to straighten it up. Now the position is off a little bit once again, so all I'm going to do is quickly just move it over and drag it over in front of the head, and then I'm also going to move it down a little bit as well, so it's going to be nice and close to the arms, and hopefully this should give us a nice first person look. So press play, jump in here, and you can see it worked kind of nice. However, when we use the controls, we can't actually move left or right with the mouse, so we need to make sure that this uses the controller rotation. It's really quick and really simple to do. So go back in here with the camera, the follow camera, just make sure use pawn controller rotation is selected, and then also with the mesh, we need to go ahead and make sure in here, in the third person character, in here we need to go and grab this, and it's the yaw that we're after. Use controller rotation for yaw, compile, press play, and now you can see we can look all around. If we look down, we can see our feet, we can see our arms. When we run, it looks really, really nice. It's really smooth, and that is just the beginning of our true first person video. So the last thing that I'm going to do before I do end off the video is simply add in the animation starter pack. Just press add to project, and then just select your FPS tutorial, add to project, and that should only take maybe about 2 minutes. It's really quick. There we go, it's all done for me. Anyway guys, that is pretty much everything for the true first person system. Once again guys, thanks for watching, stay awesome, keep creating, your boy Virtus, signing out. This series was made possible by you guys supporting me on Patreon. If you want to help create other series like this, then check out my Patreon page in the link in the description.